Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back from the dark. We're here with the last North American game of Week 9. It'll be Cognitive Gaming versus Elevate.
It's going to be a tough run to try and live up to that last set, but Cognitive Gaming looking to secure their spot for Super Regionals. Elevate, they're already out of the running. They're a guaranteed 8th place, I believe. Maybe they could sneak past denial. I'm not entirely sure, but they cannot make it to Super Regionals. They're just looking to play spoiler here.
Exactly.
Maybe give a chance to denial.
Yeah, so we've got nothing to lose as far as Elevate.
Sometimes you play better that way, though.
Exactly. We've talked so much about that, and it's going to be Elevate trying to take down Cognitive today, a team that started off for the very first time this split ever playing a game in Week 1. And we've watched this team work and work and work, really coming to a peak sort of in the bye week at Cognitive Invitational, and then from there, just see more success.
They've been able to... They're this team kind of like the London Conspiracy where they could play up to their competition. We see them, take games off Team Solo Mid, Cloud9, Envy, the top, the cream of the crop. Unfortunately, though, they seem to be dropping some unfortunate games. That's why they're at the place they are now, sitting in the current 6th seed, not a guaranteed shoe-in for the Super Regionals. But, if this team could come together, I think we could start to see them make a run and maybe upset some teams.
Yeah, this is the quintessential team that I look forward to for next split. Obviously, they're going to go to Super Regionals, and we'll see how they do. And sure, they do have to secure their way there, but they'll probably wind up at Super Regionals, and we'll see. But this is the type of team where I'm excited to see how they do in the future. Of course, as you said, maybe Super Regionals, and a big part of that maybe is going to be Elevate. They're the team that Cognitive will be taking on here in our last game of the day, and we'll take a look at those players on your screen at the moment.
Elevate finding 4 wins so far in the Pro League, 2 against the Team Solo Mid team we just watched go head-to-head with against Cloud9. Aror, the recent addition in the mid lane, Vessalius in that hunter role, Metyankey, and the support, Mytherea jungling, and Scary D in the solo role. This team really... They were kind of like the ranked all-stars. They were the rookies, right? Who came out and they found some wins. They found some close games, but I feel a lot of their losses come down to mentality, right? They'll win early a lot of the times, and then heading into like 15, 20 minutes, they'll lose one team fight, and they just really seem to collapse in on themselves. You start to see individuals make very poor decisions that they didn't make for the first 10, 15 minutes.
Exactly. I mean, that's sort of the situation when you mentioned rookies, and they do have to sort of earn their stripes and play through different hours of the SPL, and we'll just give them a couple more right here as we get into game number 1 of Elevate versus Cognitive. Picks and bans very first. And off the top, we'll take a look as Cognitive elects to go first pick, first ban here in our situation. What exactly do Elevate want primarily? And what can Cognitive take away is obviously the question. So they'll go Circuit, just top tier right now.
So for me, Elevate's actually adopted a little bit of a Cognitive Gaming style in some of the recent matches. We see a lot of Hell focus, a lot of Guan jungle, Odin support, very tanky lineups that are really centered around Aror in the mid lane, which is really what Cog do. They kind of develop these rosters around the best in the mid lane and then put Aror on a Guardian that he can either carry with if he can get, like a Xing or Ares. If not, he'll go into the traditional support role. But I love the ban away by Elevate against Hell because both these teams, that was their priority pick.
Yeah, we've seen Hell be played by Best in the middle before. Isis going to be banned out by Cognitive. Of course, she's still always a strong god to be put in the middle lane, but specifically against Aror, Elevate's mid laner and captain is a very prominent Isis player, and there you go. Ares going to be taken off the board for Cognitive Gaming, as you said, sort of a nod towards Aror.
Cognitive Gaming, Wukong is up if they want to put that on Meerkat, which we do see him prefer a lot of the times. Guan available as well, although Cognitive Gaming a lot of times really won't focus that as their priority pick. First pick coming through. Capri is available too, but it's going to be Janus, so Best picking up a mage that can really outplay opponents, I would say, is the best word for it.
Right, and Janus is one of these interesting situations where he is a top-tier pick in the current meta. He's a top-tier pick for a lot of these teams, and Best specifically also has a fantastic Janus, so it sort of converges in the middle. Ho Yi, well, he's here, and he's here to stay.
Hou has really risen to be one of the top picks right now, at least in North America. Europe as well, experimenting with him too. I'm a little bit surprised that teams are investing this much into him, into being first pick. He's great in certain 1v1 scenarios when his Hunter's mark is up, and also has the Suns. And I think that's what teams lean towards more, is that that huge AoE zoning ultimate that no other Hunter really has.
Yeah, you can sort of draw a line, I guess, towards Cupid as far as like team fight or just area denial, but it's a much different effect. Of course, it's just constant damage instead of Cupid's where it's a delayed effect, etc. So the idea is the same, but Hou really has a strong team fight presence. The question for me, though, is really how much experience does the Hunter have on it? And I think watching TSM Snoopy play in comparison to some of the other Hunters, not quite there. Vessalius has been playing Hou all season, though.
He's been playing it in and out, and now that it's buffed, you know, this is really benefiting him. But here's the thing for me, Vessalius is playing this 1v1 Hunter. However, historically, at least in the fall split, has not been the best at 1v1ing. Actually has the most, has been solo killed the most times of any player in the Pro League. He has been killed 12 times with no assist on the board.
Wow.
In 22 games. I have 24 games now.
Well, probably going to lean towards the team fight potential of Hou, I guess, in that regard. Sun Wukong and Bellona going to round out the draft for Elevate, at least in Phase 1. And Cognitive Gaming going to claim their iconic Guan, most likely in the jungle, alongside what is most likely a support Athena. Bans are out as well. Osiris saying no by Elevate. And no Sobek, says Cognitive Gaming. The next pick will be Xing Tian, selected by Team Elevate.
I like the Osiris band from Elevate. They're more than likely going to be running the Bellona in the jungle, which is kind of a Mytherea style god. We see other junglers run it occasionally there, but Mytherea prefers it. A lot of team fight, not a lot of gank potential, and that really seems to be what Elevate is focused on right now, is high-level team fight execution. Sun Wukong also going to be in that soul lane matching up against an Osiris. It's not something that he really wants to do, so more than likely we want to see Scary D rotate early with that Sun Wukong, not having to worry about the Osiris in the solo.
Fenrir and Neith going to round out the picks for Cognitive Gaming. I like the Neith on Cabom. Cabom is a player that it's very interesting to me. Cabom doesn't really excel in lane. He doesn't necessarily lose lane, right? But he doesn't excel in lane, but works out later on in the game. And for a player that wants to play a little bit safe, Neith is a perfect option and can, of course, impact the team fights from her lane.
Poseidon going to be locked in for Elevate, their final pick of the draft. A lot of mobility going to be needed, really, against this Neith and Fenrir, more than likely, who are going to dive him. Janus as well. Cognitive Gaming has a lot of dive potential onto Poseidon. However, Elevate really has a very strong protect strat with their Xing 10 Bellona, Sun Wukong. We've seen them run this with a Hell instead of Poseidon, however, unsuccessfully. My biggest problem that I think I see Elevate having is the fact that all of their frontline players don't like being frontline players. They like diving the enemy carries. I really need to see Elevate here look to protect Aduro and Vessalius.
Unrelinquished going to be playing the Sun Wukong.
Oh, Unrelinquished subbing it. Okay.
So
no Scary D.
Substitution here for Elevate. Unrelinquished and Scary D, it's interesting. I feel like I've seen just as much Unrelinquished throughout the season than the rest of the roster. He's really he's a substitute for this team and has wound up subbing in quite often.
Well, he was the starting mid lane player for the first half of the split,
right?
Until Aduro ended up subbing. It was funny, right? He was unable to make a game, and we've actually seen this a lot from the lower end of teams, where sometimes players will be unable to make a game. There'll be a sub in, and that was actually the first time Elevate found their win. It was against Denial earlier on in the split. Aduro subs in, they find their first win with Aduro, and they're like, "Sorry, Unrelinquished." Aduro got us a win.
That's why
it took us like 9 games to do this. He's working well. He's got good communication. You're sitting on the bench.
And then they immediately made Aduro the captain.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, it's interesting because Aduro, Mytherea was previously the captain.
No, here, you want a little insight?
What's that?
Because I talked to Aduro. Mytherea kind of just did it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team actually had no idea.
Exactly.
No, what do you mean exactly? He just made him a captain. He's like, I don't want to do captain anymore. You're Captain Aduro. And Aduro's like, okay. And the rest of the team's kind of like, all right, because like it was already final at that point. They're like, we got to live with it now.
Well,
that's kind of like Elevate, right?
I understand.
That is Elevate in a nutshell.
That's a microcosm of the team itself. But I think it makes sense actually because Aduro, as we said, a lot of these players are rookies. Aduro has seen some success himself on sort of these season 1 teams, and of course was substitute for the long reign of terror.
I definitely think it was the right choice. But that's kind of the thing, right? It's like if you're a captain, it's just kind of like gives up his captain after one game where a sub comes in. It's kind of showing to some inexperience there, and I think Aduro so far has done a good job. They've been able to pick up 3 more wins since he's first subbed in, and this team likely going to be seeing some changes moving forward into the split, but we'll have to see how they round out their season against Cognitive Gaming here.
And with that in mind, Elevate, as you said, trying to switch things up. Right now they're 4-20 at the moment. Cognitive Gaming want to change things as well. If they take 2-0 here, they look very, very strong to go into the Super Regionals.
Mytherea, ooh, looks like they're going to focus djpernicus, who was just trying to clear the way of...
A lot of damage onto the best already.
Yeah, he got hit by that bludgeon, which really swings. djpernicus not going to have any stuns in his kit to be able to interrupt that Talu assault.
Unrelinquished getting aggressed on by Meerkat here. Meerkat unable to go into those minions. Only level 3
jump.
here.
It's not enough damage, but he's definitely going to be aggressive. One more attack. Unrelinquished. Not very experienced. He's a mid lane player, not very experienced in the solo lane there, and Meerkat making sure to abuse that 1v1 situation. Back right Harpies were stolen by Elevate, though.
It's interesting if you want to take a look at how that kill went down. You had to respect the minions, or Meerkat had to respect the minions, so couldn't directly go for the kill. But once the minions came into and sort of locked into position, then go in and burst down the opponent and then jump right back out.
Left-hand side, djpernicus, very early rotation. Oh, there's the jump from Metyankey. There is no way he gets out. Nice route from Cabom. There's the slow. One more auto attack. Doesn't even need it. Backflip takes that one out. Cognitive Gaming up 2-0.
You know, I put a funny tweet out a couple of weeks ago. I said Neith's backflip should have an execute on it.
No,
right
stop
there,
talking.
actually executed
Stop talking.
with the Neith backflip.
It's like give him a 30% execute on Neith backflip.
Fun stuff coming out from the guys on Cognitive already with 2 kills on the board, starting off really with a bang here. With, you know, that's a kill a minute basically.
Aduro level 5 though, the experience. Okay. Clear miscommunication. Oh, okay. So this is what happened. I didn't notice. In this little lane, Meerkat once again was abusing Unrelinquished in the matchup. He was level 5. And then I saw the Neith ult come across the map. I don't know if Aduro intercepted it. I think he had to because he wasn't targeted, right?
Right.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they targeted Aduro with the Neith ult. And I was like, what is happening?
Nah, Aduro stepped in. Whether or not that was planned,
I don't think that was planned. I think Aduro was kind of just chilling there.
We do see that occasionally.
Very rarely. But yeah, it does happen. It's possible.
But Meerkat, I mean, you used the correct word. Meerkat is just controlling and abusing this lane altogether. Unrelinquished, as you said, sort of a natural mid laner, not a solo laner. And there's a lot of similarities in those roles, but I guess here we're really seeing the difference of the mid lane to the solo lane.
And really good look on Meerkat for taking advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
Elevate stealing away this attack speed buff. They were actually 4-man grouped. I almost thought that they were gonna do the gold theory. They honestly could have, because there was no vision on the side of Cog. They could have 4-man bursted, especially with the Kraken, but they didn't recognize that, and it is an incredibly risky call. I just thought they were going to do it. You
know, it's interesting, Meerkat on the Fenrir. Normally we see warriors, tanky warriors, Sun Wukong and Osiris and gods like that.
Meerkat, or, you know, Fenrir kind of bridges that gap.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a build pretty tanky.
Fenrir winds up being sort of the void shield of gods, right? You know, he's not the absolute frontline guy, but he will translate into that as the late game goes on.
Very hybrid based.
Yeah, hybrid. That's the word I'm looking for. But a little, you know, out of the ordinary for Meerkat. Definitely not going to see a mystical male, or most likely not. Do we see the mystical male on Meerkat on the Fenrir?
He might just do it because he's Meerkat, and then he kind of has to now because that's all he ever talks about is mystical male and the. 30 damage or 40 damage ticks. Rotation doesn't even matter. Unrelinquished, man.
So strong, and Unrelinquished going to be aggressed on by...
He's dead when he lands.
Yeah, the Neith ultimate will hit him when he jumps out.
I mean, unless Cog
the rest of Cognitive Gaming is here as well, and Guan Yu, but there's a Kraken waiting for him. Fantastic rotation out of Aduro, and that'll bring havoc to the rest of the team. Mytherea picks up one, Metyankey picks up the other, and Cognitive Gaming's 4-0 lead cut in half. It's 4-2.
Super greedy coming out from Cognitive Gaming. They all group up for that Kraken. Good rotation from Aduro. Look at this, though. Best charging his ult, not going to get pulled in by the Whirlwind. There's a portal. Looks like Aror doesn't even want to get out. He's trying to find Mytherea, but Mytherea, nope. Is Aror going to do it? He wants the reach.
He looked for it, but just enough distance created for the Team Elevate.
Cabom was destroying Vessalius, by the way, in the meantime of this lane. We actually saw Vessalius sitting at almost no health, forced back there. And the tower already starting to be pressured on this dual lane side. Almost close to under half. That's not something you see typically.
I mean, at 5 minutes, definitely not.
Right, if there's like a soul in lane, I'm like, okay, that's understandable.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Unless you're playing casuals with a soul, 5.5 minutes.
You're going like DM Brandon try hard, where you're like, you have your team mass rotate, so they force out the dual lane, and then you have like your mid laner play zone, and DM Brandon's like, yeah, man, I'm taking this tower. It's 1:30.
I mean, it doesn't even take that much intricacy.
All right, 1:20.
There you go. Meerkat caught up by a little bit. 2 members on Elevate. Gets out of jail, no problem.
You know, honestly, for the fact that Unrelinquished has died 3 times.
They're even levels.
Yeah, the first blood was actually a solo kill, and that's really the only lead we see on Meerkat. It hasn't really gone any higher.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look, it's 37 to 42. That's the 500 gold that you got from first blood. So Meerkat has been really running this lane. 2 kills on himself, and then the assist from the rest of his team, of course, but honestly hasn't really been able to capitalize too much off of it. Is that just because when you're killed somebody twice in 2 minutes, the respawn timer is just so low?
It's possible. Also, probably timing on the kills.
Yeah.
Maybe. And Unrelinquished getting a little bit of a few extra waves after Meerkat was sent to base in that last engagement. Mytherea gonna get dashed on. Cabom takes a lot of poke, and actually Mytherea wants to fight into this. Xingtian's rotating in. Mytherea holding his ultimate.
Just a little too long. Xing does show up. TheBest shows up as well, just in case Elevate decided to turn and fight. But they opt not to. Best will return
I don't know what the call there was, but no one on Elevate was realistically even close. Huge rotation from Cog, finds that nice kill.
Continuing on their quest in the mid lane, djpernicus really playing this Guan jungle. You don't really see too many ganks,
He just team fights all the time.
Yep. Unrelinquished.
Oh, I thought that was a stun. Unrelinquished. Just barely.
Smart play.
Meerkat biting the air.
Why not? It's like when you see usually you see a Kronos use Accelerate to get away, he'll still attack. Just because why not?
Because you got your Fatalis. Oh, Unrelinquished getting turned on. He comes down, and then, you know, the ultimate coming out from Aror, not even needed. That's 3 solo kills on a Meerkat right now, sitting at 3-1-1. But there he's rotated as well, going to get stunned out, and just, you know, he just came off of base. We saw him die, and he's already poked out. That's a third of his life bar done.
You know, I like the decision from Aror to rotate because of the inevitable rotation out of Elevate, right? So the kill can be confirmed by Meerkat by himself on Fenrir. If by chance it's not, of course you get a taunt and you get the kill. But really, Aror shows up so that whenever Elevate responds, there are 2 people here instead of Meerkat by himself.
Mytherea, no beads online from him. Aror and Meerkat might be able to burst him down, but it doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. Meerkat taking a trip, trying to get vision on the blue buff.
Meerkat has all the freedom in the world right now.
Oh, he can do whatever he wants.
Blue buff just spawned, and Aror gets sight of it.
Mytherea is only level 8 here. He needs to be careful. Taunts in onto Unrelinquished. Unrelinquished, man, this is not a matchup that Elevate is having fun with right now. Here's the rotation.
He's keeping up in levels. He's level 10. Best is here. Up on the horses, djpernicus looking at a Duro. Gets the stun right into a shot out of the Best. Kraken comes out right after a Duro falls down. Xing jump away. In his mouth, Meerkat has the opponent. Unrelinquished falls one more time. This time to Best. Mytherea, again, surrounded by too many members of the enemy team, but he's able to jump over the wall and find himself safe. Metyankey, he'll do the same. He'll escape out the left-hand side, while the rest of Cognitive slink back into the jungle, steal the blue buff away from the solo lane, and likely, I mean, Meerkat could take this tower this early on.
It's a possibility here. Vessalius trying to 1v1 Cabom. Cabom level 11. He's actually got his Soul Reaver online, and Vessalius has no lifesteal. He's going to be forced out of this one. djpernicus will pick him up on the rotation. Vessalius not getting soloed at that time. There was assist on the board. But Elevate right now, it just...
Minions save the right tower, but...
I think Elevate's just done with the split. Like, that's just... You look at this play, and that's really what it kind of feels like. These players are just kind of going in one at a time, not really caring.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's a lot of frustration on this team.
The past couple sets have really kind of been similar to this, but they at least put in, it seems, their effort for the first 15 minutes. This game just kind of seems like Elevate does not care.
I'm definitely seeing a big piece of frustration on the side of Elevate. They do have 2 kills for themselves, so not quite tossing it in the wind. One of them is on Xing on Aror, or my mistake, on Metyankey, of course, and then Mytherea has a kill on Bellona. And really, you know, that's where you want to sort of look at. Bellona wants to make more of an impact here. 3,000 gold in the lead for Cognitive Gaming at 10 minutes. it's not quite a death sentence, but it's definitely hard
No, this
to come
definitely
out
this
of.
definitely isn't a game that like Elevate, wouldn't technically be able to fight back into, considering a lot of the lead is on Meerkat, and he hasn't really. A lot of it's the 1K on Meerkat. This is definitely a game that Elevate could fight into, but it just doesn't seem like they want to. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's kind of hard to describe feelings of players based on characters in a game, but hey. That's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, once we get to land and you start to see the face cams, that's why I like land so much, is because there's so much more to this game than just picks and bans and sort of counter picks, etc. djpernicus getting a little
look at that
poked
heal.
out, but healed up.
Oh my word!
Conviction.
Can we actually take a look at djpernicus? Is he leveling that up? Yeah, he didn't even go into Warrior's Will. He maxes that heal. Whew, that was a strong heal on that conviction.
This is the general approach we see
170
from djpernicus. We usually see the Tallow Assault built up first, and then the points put into the heal, because as you said,
the team fight.
He's not looking for the ganks. He's just continuously team fighting, and really that's what Guan Yu brings to this lineup.
Mytherea rotating in here, trying to match his djpernicus moving in the jungle. Xing Tian and Aduro. Oh, look at this
Cabom
charge. They're
lining it
looking
up.
for Aduro.
Aduro gets stunned out. Here's more damage, and he's going to drop the Kraken to zone out the rest of Cognitive. Portal taken by Aror. But it looks like Aduro should be largely fine fighting the jungle. Vessalius being focused on by the rest of Cognitive. They couldn't catch up to the mid laner, and they'll just turn and burn onto Mytherea now. Over the wall, safe and sound. Metyankey, he's the only one that doesn't have a jump to get away over a wall. He'll jump down the corner. djpernicus is going to chase. There's a stun. And there he goes. The best picks up Metyankey for the 10th kill in 12 minutes for Cognitive Gaming.
Nice kill coming up from Cognitive Gaming. They're so far ahead right now. They're abusing their lead in team fighting exactly. This is exactly the Cognitive Gaming style. Find a couple picks with some 3-on-1s or some 3-on-3s, and then move on from there. Gold Fury, their next target. Unrelinquished coming in, already poked out. Nice knock-up, though. He actually could look for the steal. It's incredibly close. Who did it go to? It looks like Cognitive Gaming was able to secure that one.
Meerkat picks up the opponent in his mouth. Mytherea taking so much damage from the Tallow Assault as Meerkat stands still, and Cabom lands a basic for the last hit. Mytherea goes home.
Cognitive Gaming right now, 4,000 in the lead off of that Gold Fury. 6,300 in experience. You can see the levels start to matter in the jungle, 2-level advantage. Same with the mid lane, dual lane. Also, Hunter, 2-level advantage.
Yeah, it's 2s across the board except for the solo lane, which is about 1.5 here. You see 14 and 12. Unrelinquished probably about to hit 13 relatively soon. Although with that last death, I guess we'll take a look. But see, that's what I like the aggression coming out of Unrelinquished. Try and get the Gold Fury, right? You're 0-5. You're not worth that much.
Unrelinquished is half the deaths on Elevate right now.
Right, and I mean, how much gold is an 0-5 Sun Wukong really worth at this point? You have to go to protect
Stop
that
doing
gold.
it to him. Just
No.
stop, Cog. Come
Cog
on,
says
man.
no. Unrelinquished. He's going to beads out the
Come
stun.
on. What's
And
faster,
DJ,
a bird or a horse?
DJ.
Nah, it's the bird.
DJ opts not to go for it.
Oh, he couldn't. He was definitely too far off of that one. Rotation, though, coming in. Metyankey throwing out the dash. Here's 3 members. This actually could be a good fight for Elevate if they can lock down the target they need.
It's a good
djpernicus taking a lot of poke. He beads and dashes through the Kraken. Meerkat finding a 2-man stun. Mytherea over the top. djpernicus is clearly the target with no ultimate. He lives just for a second. Meerkat, though, finds a return kill.
Strong shot out of Elevate. Xing Qian gets the whirlwind, but it's beads out by Best. Best very
is
low.
super
Elevate
deep.
looking for him. Unrelinquished
Sloppy
gets
play.
his kill. He's on the board. 2 members are here, about to be 3 out of Cognitive Gaming. Metyankey falls. Aurora's here as well, though. Mytherea aggressing on a Meerkat.
Nope.
Meerkat's in some trouble. Mytherea
mana.
just landing the basics. Meerkat's got nowhere to go. He's going to try and hide underneath the Fire Giant, but he can't. And Elevate has a fantastic last sequence, getting a couple of kills for themselves.
3 kills onto them. Best super out of position, though. Dives right in the middle of 3 players. Takes a lot of AoE damage and gets bursted down. Nice prioritization coming up from Elevate to find those kills. Cabom going to walk away with Vessalius' attack speed buff. And Vessalius, are you actually going to dive on this?
He's
Cabom
trying
to get back here. There is Soul Eater up, but I think Vessalius is going to lose his luck and hit a nice stun. Vessalius, this might be a 1v1. He wins. Just kidding.
Cabom comes
13 times
out.
Vessalius has been soloed in the Smite Pro League.
Cabom comes out looking like he owns the whole map. He walks into the enemy jungle, takes the buff while Vessalius is there in his face, pays it no mind, backflips, clearly uses his escape before he needs to, pays it no mind, right? And then the whole time Vessalius makes the right move and continues on, and it just doesn't work out.
Cabom hit all his autos. Vessalius did too, but a little bit too much damage.
Level difference.
The Neith is way too far ahead to fight into that. Most notably, probably the Iqval coming into play there. Not only taking away the opponent's attack speed, but also giving it to yourself.
404. Vessalius not found. Just absolutely smoked by Cabom right there.
No, the 404 is on Cabom. He's found.
That's what brought him to 404.
Vessalius is 0-2-0.
That's what brought him to 404.
All right, that was forced. That was really forced.
It was. We have fun here. Cognitive Gaming up by 9 kills.
This is all serious. DJ taking a lot of damage from Metyankey. Metyankey taunted out here. Aduro has Kraken available. Metyankey going super deep, trying to chase down DJ.
Just a whole bunch of nothing going on in the mid lane. Meerkat, however, unrelinquished. He's pretty deep, I guess, relatively speaking.
I guess because he has Mystical Mail online? If there's anyone who knows when he could fight Mystical Mail, it is Meerkat. And he could fight Mystical Mail right now, it seems.
Tier 1 tower is down, so Meerkat, I guess, sort of trying to make the moves over in Soul Lane as far as Unrelinquished is concerned.
djpernicus actually only level 13. Going to get turned on here. There's the Neith on, and djpernicus actually going to jump on the horse and turn around. The target's Mytherea, but there's the Kraken. Not enough damage. Xing trying to lock down Aror, but it looks like Elevate's going to just have to disengage.
Cat stun out of the jungle from Unrelinquished doesn't do much damage, if any.
The healing so much from djpernicus. Can we actually take a quick look at the healing done so far in this game? Yeah, 5,400. We're only 17 minutes in. And the amount of damage really coming out onto Elevate, very few players, or actually most players, sitting around the 5,000 to 7,000 mark.
You got to realize that these heals are coming out. We're watching them take a quarter of players' health, right? A quarter to, almost a third of these players' health. And, I mean, you take a look at how that impacts each individual fight, right? And 5,000 in total. That means he's saving, 4 people at a time. Still here. 4 members deep for Cognitive.
I was wondering why DJ was taking so much damage from the Xing 10, and now it's because he actually went Breastplate of Valor as his defensive item, so no health and also physical protection, so Xing 10 and Aduro doing a lot.
Cognitive Gaming starting to think about the Gold Fury, pulling it just enough to make Elevate show their face, and Cognitive turns and fights. Xing Qian trying to make things happen.
Vessalius. Nice stun, actually going to keep Meerkat at bay in the back line.
Meerkat takes down Vessalius. Mytherea stuck as well. 3 members of Cognitive looking directly at him. Tallow Assault and a basic out of Cabom. Mytherea falls down for the 16th kill for the guys. On top of Cognitive Gaming, 2 people are down for Elevate. That's a big enough window for Cognitive to start things up. Meerkat trying to turn 2 into 3. But Aduro finds himself safely under the tower.
This is when you know. When Auror's leaving his Soul Laner alone to chase kills under a tower, that's when you know.
I think that's pretty much Aror.
Unrelinquished, getting forced out here. Metyankey rotating in. There's a Kraken. Xing also has ult. Oh, the Neith ult not doing enough. Oh, but the heal does over the top. Metyankey locks 3 in tower. Is it going to be enough to find some kills? Metyankey, no, can't get anything off of it. And Cognitive Gaming walk away with the Gold Fury and 1 more kill onto Aduro.
Unrelinquished saves his own life by jumping on top of the cloud. But Gold Fury ultimately goes to Cognitive Gaming. Let's take a look at the graphs, folks. It's about 6,000 gold, just underneath it, 5,200 to be a little more precise. On the side of Cognitive Gaming, 8,300 experience as well.
Cabom just does not even care. He's just like so big, he can just face tank all of Elevate 1v2, 1v3 at any time, especially after Vessalius lost that 1v1. That was Vessalius' chance to try and get back in that match. With Elevate down so far, I mean, I like the risk, right? It was so close, and if he's able to kill Cabom, maybe he can fight back into the game. But after he lost it, that was kind of the end of it for him. Meerkat, this is just Elevate right now.
This is how it's going.
This is just Elevate right now.
We're seeing Cognitive Gaming on the opponent's side of the jungle more often than their own.
Out of the blue buff.
Blue buff is stolen. Speed buff is stolen. Purple buff this time went to Vessalius, but last time was stolen.
Metyankey is dead.
Here comes the Goon Squad from both sides of the tower. Metyankey.
Oh, he might get up. Nope.
He's going to be chased on down. Aduro throws out the Kraken. Nobody gets hit by it that matters. djpernicus hits Metyankey. And Elevate, they've got 3 under this tower, but Tier 1 already down in mid lane. Keep an eye on the left side, though. Vessalius has got a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 for his troubles.
He's going to dash up into the air. He's going to back as well. Meerkat finds Mytherea. The heals from djpernicus doing so much right now for this team, and now only 2 left to defend this tier 2. They lost Cognitive Gaming. They lost their tier 2 on left, but they're taking the tier 2 in mid lane in response and extend their gold lead to, it looks like, about 6,000? Yeah, 6,000 gold.
Just shy of it. And so that winds up ultimately being worth it, correct? I mean,
it was a fine trade.
Pretty much an even
you
trade.
Find some kills, you
and
get
when
a
you're
tower.
ahead, you'll take that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cognitive takes that pretty much any day of the week.
Tier 1 tower on left is going to go down as well. Don't even need minions.
Meerkat just walks on in there, playing the Fenrir. Now transitioning, he's got the Jotuns that came after the Runeforged Hammer. Runeforged Hammer, just such an efficient defensive item, pretty much perfect for Fenrir.
A lot of protections, very cheap, and also a significant amount of health. Converts your physical defense into physical power. So
we're going attack speed.
This is what you see from a lot of Fenrirs. It's going to go into the Executioner. And I mean, right now, Meerkat does not need to be tanky. He is tanky enough.
Right.
He can just dive into the back line. And can we actually take a look at Fenrir? Seething Howl, most notably.
Yeah, because that's really what it comes down to. Fenrir, in the beginning, and for a lot of, I guess, novice players, you look at the Brutalize, you see how much damage it does, and you've probably been killed by it 50 times so far in your Smite career, so you just think of him as an ability-based character, but as the game gets later and later, Seething Howl, one of the strongest steroids in the entire game, Fenrir translates to a basic attack god pretty much late game.
He can, right? It's kind of dependent on what you can do best.
Of course.
Forced out of that fight real quick. You could see he was just trying to rotate to the team fight, and Elevate actually might be able to fight into this, especially with Best out of the fight. This is a 5v4 that they could look to take, but Cognitive Gaming, they're recognizing it. They're giving a lot of respect to Elevate. Even though they're up 19-5 to kills, they're making sure they do not throw this one.
Right. When you're ahead this far, you got to take what you can get. Going into the enemy jungle, stealing all the buff camps that we've been seeing, sure. But at the same time, you can't overestimate how far ahead you are. You don't have God mode on, even with 6,000 gold, right? So getting ganked by 5 people into 3 doesn't matter. You're going to get smoked. So Cognitive Gaming understanding that and making the right moves with respect to their lead, but not getting too overconfident, playing things very smart.
Big grouping in the mid lane here. Actually, Mytherea rotating and trying to find djpernicus. Vessalius going to combo, but just a little bit of poke, not enough to find a kill.
Mytherea by himself. Poured it in though. That's Unrelinquished. He's going to join his teammate, but it's still a 2v3 with Cognitive Gaming coming from the right and Elevate coming from the left. Vessalius
this is a good
up
fight for
top.
Elevate.
Mytherea going to be smoked by Meerkat. Mytherea is dead. Aduro did get a kill already. djpernicus up on the horse, looking for Aduro. Beads are still up. There's the Kraken. Cabom takes a lot from it. Backflips out, but djpernicus takes down the mid laner. Meerkat going to follow Vessalius onto the backside. One more smack. There he goes. Vessalius down. DJ falls, but immediately is answered by Meerkat. Metyankey stunned out. Auror's here. How long on the cooldowns? He's got 3 seconds before a taunt comes up, 1 second before a slow. And there's the flip. There's a smack. Meerkat going to try and confirm things, and he ultimately will. There it is, Cabom with the basic.
There, and that's going to be a 3 for 2 in favor of Cognitive Gaming. They're going to siege down this right tier 2 as well. No one spawning for just a second. Most of Elevate are not spawning for another 20 seconds. Not going to be a Phoenix. They could look for Fire Giant, but they leave it open for Mytherea to steal. There's always that possibility, so you do have to be worried here. Cognitive Gaming, they do not control the ward vision on Fire Giant. It looks like they're going to play it safe and just steal away Elevate's buffs, making sure all these players coming off a spawn won't have free XP to get.
Fantastic fight coming out of Cognitive Gaming, looking absolutely magnificent in this game. 10,000 gold, or just shy of it at least, on their lead. Not confident enough to go for the Fire Giant, as you said. The Mytherea, just too much of a threat for that steal, but Cognitive, everything's coming up Millhouse for this team. I mean, they're making all the right moves in each lane. They're taking they're using their advantage to go into the enemy jungle and take away the buffs. This is what you do with a lead, and still not overextending too much. They've only given Elevate 7 kills.
Vessalius quickly jumps away from there. Looks like he was trying to find the best in the jungle and catch him out, but not going to happen as the rest of Cognitive Gaming were ready and waiting. And this is going to be a Gold Fury call. You can see Metyankey on the Xing might be trying to get him. Vessalius has the Suns looping around the back. The damage isn't coming off fast enough from Cog, and this is going to be an attempted steal from Elevate. And Cog just are going to reset it for now. Actually, Metyankey, though, might be able to steal it. Who's going to get it? It does go to Cognitive Gaming.
Cognitive Gaming keeps it up, and now they're here to punish Elevate. Vessalius falls down. Good shot.
Heavenly's
popped, so Cognitive looking to keep moving on.
Oh, they're going to catch Mytherea, who is split pushing in the meantime, and there is nowhere for Mytherea to go. Nice beats, but they were popped early. Eagles rally trying to get away. Auror's going to find the taunt in under a second, and there goes Mytherea. Last hit, who's he going to go to? Cabom finding some real nice kills. Had a fantastic game so far.
Here comes the rest of the fight. Cognitive up the middle lane, looking for more. Unrelinquished finds an exit out the right side of the map. Ultimate comes out of Aduro. Doesn't really impact much. Here, Metyankey, he's going to escape. Aduro won't, though. And the rest of Cognitive now, there's a dash. There's a reach. Metyankey, he's in some trouble. djpernicus confirms the kill. 4 dead on the side of Elevate. Vessalius about to spawn. Unrelinquished still up. 25 on the clock. Cognitive Gaming going to collect their Phoenix.
The question is here, are they going to go for the end, the Phoenix on the right, or the Fire Giant? I'd say the Phoenix on the right or the Fire Giant are the correct calls. Actually, Metyankey dashing in. He's looking for Vessalius. He's going to fall. Unrelinquished, the only player left alive from Cog. And it looks like Cog are continuing to play it safe. Mytherea spawning. No one else for 20 seconds.
I think
they're going to head to that Fire Giant.
Honestly, Kevin, I'm always the guy that says go Fire Giant. But I honestly think taking the risk right there is worth it.
It would have been close. I feel very confident that Cog would have won that and secured the win, especially with the heals coming out from djpernicus, but it seems like they want to completely play it safe. There was still a tower left on the left-hand side, and 2 Phoenixes up. Each Phoenix worth 1,500 health on the Titan. Each tower worth 500. So that was 3,500 health that they would have had to burst their extra. I guess you look at risk versus reward as Elevate tries and stops its objective, but it's just not going to happen. Unrelinquished finds an exit for a second before Best shoots him from Mozambique, gets the kill. Same thing's going to happen to Mytherea as Cabom shoots him in the brain from just a step away. But I mean, I guess you look at risk versus reward. You know, Cognitive Gaming, they go in, worst case scenario, they get wiped. Elevate, they take Fire Giant. And then you get a move. Cognitive Gaming, they don't go for the win. What happens? Well, they get Fire Giant, they kill 2 more, and they go for the win now, right? Like, risk versus reward. Fire Giant going to be the safer call instead of just filing into the base. So, Cognitive Gaming picking up the second Phoenix, as you said, lowering the Titan's health. And Elevate going to try and pose some sort of defense, but it doesn't look too strong. Going to be able to heal up, and Metyankey's not giving up. There's the Whirlwind, going to throw 2 players straight into a Kraken. djpernicus, fantastic Aegis, but he actually lands into the Whirlpool. Not enough damage. DJ gets out. The Ricochet doesn't find it. Aurora still looking to taunt some players, and Cognitive Gaming on full retreat. djpernicus, just how are you getting out of this? Meerkat jumped out of it. He got the Whirlwind threw the players into the clutches of Aduro's Kraken, and Meerkat was able to, I believe, jump out before the Kraken hit him, or at least get out of the middle of the Kraken so he wasn't crowd controlled. Very quick reflexes out of the solo laner for Cognitive that's having one of the best games I've ever seen Meerkat play. 11-2-11 for the solo laner right now. A lot of that came from the beginning of the game where he absolutely ran his entire side of the map largely by himself. I mean, he was going up against a very inexperienced solo laner in Unrelinquished who was replaced on the bottom team in the SPL in the mid lane. So, yeah, he's done a good job of taking advantage of that solo lane for now. This is actually the second best game I've ever seen Meerkat play. Really? What was the one? It was actually a loss. Cognitive Gaming lost, and Meerkat was like 10-2 and like was it this 15. Split? It was, yeah, it was a couple sets ago, a couple weeks ago. Meerkat has that. Remember. Meerkat has that capability. A top-level team too. I was like, poor Meerkat. Meerkat's a player for me that's really grown throughout his SPL career, both here and Season 1 when he was on a different team, and we've really gotten to see it sort of grow in front of our eyes, and I think that in the future he'll be one of these players that winds up being Meerkat. I think that Meerkat has the potential to be one of these top tier players. I don't want him to go off to college. I mean, look at a player like Divios, right? He did the same thing. He sort of grew in front of our eyes. I think that Meerkat has that same sort of potential, honestly. He has the potential. We'll see if he can utilize it. Cognitive Gaming, 2 Phoenixes down, sieging up the final one. Nice bounce. Cabom in a lot of trouble. Good beats from him. Jumps back. I like that Ricochet out of Vessalius, but Meerkat's here to try and turn things around. He's got 3 levels on Vessalius, 4 levels on Metyankey, and still a level on Aduro. Meanwhile, Aurora's just taking down players by himself. Mytherea's going to fall. Jumped on is Meerkat by Vessalius. And Unrelinquished and Vessalius both going to find refuge in their base. Vessalius gets smoked by Aurora before he even makes it. Left-hand Phoenix falls. All 3 Phoenixes are down for the count. Elevate still trying to pose a threat as far as defense is concerned. The Titan is 7,000 HP. TheBest makes sure Aduro's not here to defend it. Metyankey, Unrelinquished, the only ones left. Metyankey in the middle of everything, but the Titan gonna fall. It's just a matter of time as to when.
And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Cognitive Gaming collect the game. 35 kills. And they're going to go on to game number 2 with a win under their belts.
Aror soloed Mytherea, who was split pushing.
On Athena!
I didn't see like how low Mytherea was when that first happened. I don't know if he had got poked out, but all I saw was I looked over before that Phoenix fight broke out. I was like, what are people doing over on the right-hand side? Oh, it's Aror and it's Mytherea, and Mytherea's almost dead, and he died. This kind of elevates split so far.
Top performers coming up on the bottom of your screen, and this should be largely Cognitive Gaming, and it is, and no surprise to me, Meerkat's winding up on top. Fantastic performance out of the solo lane.
He really abused Unrelinquished lack of experience in that solo lane. Found the first kill 1v1, found 2 more kills 1v1, and then made sure to rotate and abuse the buffs on Elevate's side. And Aduro and Metyankey, they had some nice rotations. They were actually able to kind of bait that Kraken onto DJ on the right-hand side. That was fantastic, but after that, it just kind of fell apart.
I mean, it started, it ended, the mid-game. It's all Meerkat here in game number 1. First blood comes out from the solo laner as well. Here, just a solo fight. Watch, this is very interesting. So he aggresses, the minions come up. Remember, this is before the lead comes on, so he's got to be careful. The minions show up. As soon as he gives just an inch of safety towards the enemy, all of a sudden he just jumps again and claims the kill.
Game 2 going to be coming up here soon. Player of the game was Meerkat, though, for the first one, so phenomenal performance from him. Cabom also had a very nice game as well, very respectable game. And I think if Meerkat didn't get as many solo kills as he did early on, it probably would have went over to Cabom.
Well, Cabom did what he sort of always does for this team, in which he comes up with 1 or 2 flashy kills by himself and then provides sort of the perfect role player that the team needs, right? He's not really the over-aggressive player.
An alt bot.
Yeah.
He's Auror's alt bot. Auror soloed a player. Come on Athena.
Well,
and
you have to
no
mention
damage
on
items.
Athena, because when you hear Auror soloed a player, you picture, oh, what did he play, Bakasura support or something? But he went Athena. But I was actually very happy here with respect to Cabom, because as we said, Cabom is largely the setup man. Even when he's playing Xbalanque, he winds up finding a way to make that into some sort of role play position. But here, because of the large lead that Cognitive Gaming got, it allowed Cabom to really have that wiggle room, and we got to see just how strong Cabom can be when he's allowed to be the aggressor.
Yeah, and Meerkat, you know, we're seeing a very long highlight reel from him. Made sure that when he got his lead, he kept his lead, continuing to put the pressure onto Elevate and locking down the key targets every fight. Seething Howl just does so much work. 70 physical power, I believe, at max rank, and then 35% lifesteal.
Too much. It's just too much. It's such a strong steroid. Meerkat comes up on top. What is that, 11, 2, and 14, if I'm not mistaken? Very strong stuff out of Cognitive Gaming solo laner. And, you know, we see glimpses of this here and there. Is it enough to get a Fenrir ban? I don't know. We'll see.